So a lot of the emails I get or questions I get is from drummers who are aspiring to be leaders now. And what advice would I give them? And I wish I had some really, really great advice, that some formula for why my bands have been successful. So in case anybody doesn't know, I have two bands running weekly residencies on both coasts of the United States. On Fridays, the Birdland Big Band plays at Birdland, and on Mondays, the Igoe Big Band plays at the Raz Room in San Francisco. And I don't go back and forth every single week, but about twice a month I make the trip back to maintain it. And it's, you know, I'm platinum on United. That's all I have to say. There's a lot of miles involved if you want to, you know, I was like, why couldn't we, you know, how did it have to be those coasts? Why couldn't it have been like New York and Boston? You know, the two bands in those cities. Why did it have to be all the way, you know, oh well. So people want to know about being a leader and have questions about being a leader. And I have devoted myself fully to only doing musical projects where I am actually in charge of now. I'm not doing any side band things anymore. I'm only playing these bands. I've put all my chips into these bands. I'm all in, seeing how far I can push them and seeing what kind of legs they have to get them moving not only nationally but globally. And, you know, all I can say is that when your opportunity comes to put something together, you have to be ready. You have to be really, really ready. My chance came in 2006 when Birdland gave me a chance to put a new thing in a time slot that they had that had been habitually sleepy, let's say. The club was actually going to eliminate that time slot from their schedule. It had been a money loser. They had no reason to keep it any longer. And I basically did a salesman job and said, give me a chance. I'm going to do something really, really great that nobody's ever seen before. It's going to be really awesome. It's going to be new music. And, you know, I went into full salesman mode just to, you know, give me a chance, give me a chance. You know, down on my knees, like, you know, don't take the slot away. Give me a chance, please. So they said, okay, we'll give you a chance. Get out of here. We don't want to see you anymore. Just go play your drums and leave us alone. And I said, okay, deal. They said, but you only have a very limited amount of time. If this thing doesn't work, you're out, you know. So I said, okay, got the band together, got the guys up there playing. We played our first gig. No one was there. Nobody was there. Nobody. Two people were there. I knew them both. It was as bleak could be. And then, you know, the next week, maybe 5 people were there. And then I could feel that the club was starting to get a little antsy. So I had my friends call the club and say, is Tommy Igoe playing there Friday? Okay, I'll be there. And I had them calling from all over the country. There's these different things, totally lying. You know, it was terrible. It's, you know, and I apologize to Birdland now for it, but I had to do what I had to do. So I had them calling the club and saying, oh, is Tommy playing there? Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'm bringing a group of 10. You know, totally lying. You know, and so we were on life support, but we, you know, just kept pounding. We got, you know, kept adding new music. Then maybe 25 people were there. And then those 25 people started bringing their friends because we were starting to actually get okay. We were like not getting out of the big band, you know, ether where it's just like this average level of mediocrity where most big bands live, this like hunk of mediocrity. And there's only like 2 or 3 bands in the world that push out of that. There are spectacular events. And we had not done that yet, but we were starting to get higher. We were getting a little bit better. So, you know, it was getting better every week. The players were engaged. Things were happening. We started getting 50 people. 50 people. I was like, oh my God. To me, it looked like Madison Square Garden. I couldn't believe it. I was like, 50 people. Wow, holy mackerel. So we just kept pounding, 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 and within 6 months, we had our first sellout, and then within a year, it was hard to get in. But those first 4 months, 16 weeks of, I know I had ulcers, scared to death, you know, so the whole thing, and I wrote an article in Downbeat magazine about this very thing. It's like when you're going to become a leader, everything changes. You know, usually when you're a drummer, 99% of the time you're a sideman. You know, it's somebody else's problem. Everything is somebody else's problem. Your problem is everything that goes on stage. That's your problem, but everything that goes off a stage is somebody else's problem. You know, so, and there's so much going on off stage that you never appreciate until you actually start leading a band and start trying to dot the I's and cross all the T's. And the thing I try to stress is that this will be the hardest thing you've ever done, like opening a restaurant or a club or something. This will be your baby. So you better be ready to devote yourself 100%, all your passion, all your love, and never, ever stop pounding, because it's going to take constant grinding just to get traction. You know, no one's gonna care. No one wants to hear you except your family and your friends. They'll come down or whatever. But if you keep pounding, and provided that you actually are good, and you keep pounding, because good is only half of it. Good is not. That's not even close to being enough. Good bands are everywhere. But if you want to get listened to, if you want to get an audience, you got to pound, 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 pound. Social media, every second, you know, like you have to take every avenue that you can think of to try to, you know, Facebooking, you're tweeting, you're whatever, if people are watching this in the future, whatever the social media of choice is then. You know, there's going to be different ways to pound your message home to try to draw people in. And it will be the hardest thing you've ever done. And it will also be the most rewarding. That's the good part. It will be the most rewarding thing you've ever done if it's a success. You know, and I'm doing big band jazz, which is like, you know, I must be a glutton for punishment. You know, I mean, really? Okay, let's pick a genre that really doesn't have any forward momentum at all. No one really cares about at all, except the little tiny cult of big band people who care about it. You know, and I'm trying to completely blow the genre up from the inside and get a whole different audience in. Well, I asked for it, so I'm not asking for any sympathy. And it's working out pretty well. But my thing that I always tell drummers, if you're going to make the jump to be a leader, it will be the hardest thing you've ever done, but also the most rewarding. So go for it.